So we're going to investigate Dusty Dustin. Alright, Dusty. So we got Tiger on the left here. And got the lines for your swing. The first couple things I notice, I think the setup's pretty good. You could maybe get a little bit more this way with your upper body, but not too bad. Grip, if I was there, probably take a look at it and try to get your right hand a little more over the club, a little more neutral, so that little crease in your thumb would be facing your head a little bit. Also notice your club itself set up on the ball a little bit out on the toe. So you'd probably want to try and get that more in the center. Okay. So the backswing. Here again, sort of the same problems that you had in the last video, that right elbow coming way out. You want that right elbow to be more like inside, more pinned up against your left chest. You still want to get that depth and that width with your arms, but you want that left elbow really kind of tucked inside. And what happens when that elbow comes out is that club comes way inside, when I'd really like to see that club kind of working right up that shaft plane line. You can see how when the club's parallel to the ground, that club is pretty much here, and I'd like to see it pretty much where your hands are facing the camera. So if you watch Tiger's backswing here, camera angle's not quite on, but see where Tiger's club head is in juxtaposition to that shaft plane line compared to where you are. Now, another important thing here is what's going on with your hips, that backswing. If you look at your left hip, it's kind of coming out towards the ball. That right hip, it's just kind of turning with it there, but I'd really like to see that right hip get the feeling that it's going this way in the backswing. So your right hip should actually come a little bit outside of that box. Because when the left hip's coming way forward, that's when your head is going to come outside the box here, guy. So if you look at Tiger's hips when he comes back, you can see a little bit of space there, his left hip in the box, where you're coming out of that box there. And the camera's not perfect, but Tiger's right hip would be coming a little bit outside of that box to the left from this angle. So the head lowering, that's a good thing. Means you're using the ground well to get depth. It's just you don't want that head to be going forward towards the ball like that. You really want to have it stay in the box and drop a little bit. So you'll see Tiger, some good drop at the top here. Okay, so I drew some lines of the club, the butt of the grip, down to the ball to just kind of illustrate a little bit more of what's going on here. So you can see as we get to the top, your head's kind of gotten outside of that box, that hip. You know, I'd like to see some depth. So kind of when you set up, you know, feel like if you were to lay a club parallel to the ground, but on your hips or your belt buckle, that your left hip doesn't hit that and your right hip just kind of starts working back. So when we're at the top, your transition, I think, is pretty good. But now you'll see the problem with that left hip being way forward and not having any depth is your downswing, your butt's going to move right towards the ball. And then you're going to not have any room for your right elbow. And you're either going to have to stand up or you're going to have to flip the club. So you'll see your club comes down here. You're kind of a little bit stuck here, and then you got to flip that club. You can see the club head there just had to flip hard as hell. And you'll see where your glutes are here. I'd actually like to see your left hip at this point be on the left side of this box and have no part of your body being outside of this box after impact. And it kind of seems funny that that would be the case, but if you watch Tiger, just ignore those other white lines there. If you watch Tiger's lower body, what he's doing is he is clearing his entire body, going about 45 degrees and left, using his lower body. So you'll see his glutes pretty much stay connected to that left side of the box, and that's going to give him the space for the arms. Look at how much he's dropped his head. Just fab. And you'll see his right knee there pretty much hasn't even come out of that box. You'll see a tiny bit there, but really hasn't come out of that box. And then after impact, you can just see, I mean, his whole body stays in that box where you're getting out like that. So a good drill that'll help probably more than any other drill that you'll ever try. So if you can take like a club shaft or a stick or something, just put it right in the middle of your stance. I take a club shaft without a club on it, and I'll set it right in the middle of my stance here, going right up to about the knees here, and then the goal is you'll take your backswing here. That's okay if your left knee is going a little forward there, but the key is then on your downswing with your right knee, you'll try to not want to hit that. So here you would have went BAM! But if you can practice that way, think of Tiger here, if you had a little stick there. That's what she said. And you'll see this downswing, kind of be able to miss that. That'll help keep you from flipping that club over and your whole body just jamming right here, and you'll hit a lot of high pushes to the right and then a lot of just snap hooks to the left with the swing you got going there. So again, take a look at that left elbow on your backswing, because it's getting the club too far inside. I mean, you want the club to be kind of working, should be over here somewhere, facing the camera. And work on that stick drill if you can stick something in the ground there. All right, pal.